Hey guys, it's Corey back here from Firebird Garage. Just doing a little bit of tinkering around on the car. Thought I would share some of my progress and whatnot, and just doing some work on the 79. So yeah, I thought I would show you what I'm doing, and I'll spin you around. Hope you like it. So we got the car put away for the winter time. Just working on the 79. It's a work in progress. The interior still needs work. Basically, I'm converting the headlights over right now to a new H4 style. Basically, so I have brighter headlights and all that kind of jazz. So here, as you guys can see, I'm just putting in the new style bulb, the whole assembly. It's probably boring for some people, but you know, it's nice to kind of see some things as it's going on. So basically, I'll show you here. Come in here, fire on some dash lights in here as well. And as you can see, we have it lighting up on the garage already. I don't know how well this is going to show for you guys. It might be kind of blinding, whatnot. But we have our high beams working here. It's a work in progress, guys. We're just converting them over just so we have brighter visibility on the roads. You know, the headlights from the 79, they were great back in the day, but yeah, hopefully this gives us a little more oomph. We have our highs and lows both working now. As you can see, the low beams on the garage. So yeah, the low beams are very low on this one as well. But I got 4 to put in here yet, so stay tuned and I'll keep you posted, guys. Yeah, this is just winter up north 2020, and then we have to clean and detail all the engine bay, clean up all the wiring. Just the 79 olds 403. You know, I put long tube headers on, new fuel pump, new alternator, new Edelbrock carburetor, new air filter, new lines, new plugs, wires, distributor. I put dual electric fans in this one as well. Just got to finish doing up the wiring, get it all cleaned up and presentable. And I also got to run new fuel lines. I put a new fuel tank in. I'm not sure if you can really see that at the moment, but so yeah, I put a new fuel tank. I put new year 1 snowflake wheels. These guys here are 17-inch. Yeah, you can kind of see it down there, kind of. But they are 255 45 17s in the back. And yeah, so I still got to put the tail lights in on this one here as well. And we'll have a look under here. It's kind of a little hard to see, but anyway, there's a brand new fuel tank under in there. It's got to clean up from the overspray of the paint. And then I want to clean up all the rear end stuff, change out the leaf springs, change out a few other things. It's a driver, guys. It's not a Class A, you know, Concord kind of build or anything like that. I've always had an anchoring for the 79 Firebirds and the Camaros. I think they're both great. You know, is it it's not a 10 by any means, you know. It's one of them cars where you can just kind of jump in this thing, take the family out, go cruising, have some fun, go hang out with the guys. You know, I got a race car built above it here. This one here is just more for toy and just a cruise. It's not a giant horsepower motor. I mean, back in 79, with all the restrictions and all that jazz, which we removed off of here, you know, on its best, this thing was about 180 horsepower at best. So hopefully with the new carb, the long tube headers, there's nothing done inside of this thing. It's just that I'm aware of, I should say. It's bone stock. I don't hear any cam or nothing in this one. Yeah, so basically just cleaned it up and got it ready to drive. I mean, it doesn't overheat. It sits around 190 degrees, 180 degrees in that ballpark. Um, put all brand new proportioning valve in here. Put, believe it or not, that master cylinder is actually brand new. It just rusted from sitting. So now I have to sand it down a little bit and paint it. Got to paint the block up a little bit, just clean it up, you know, the general stuff. The wiring from putting this motor over into this car is just a nightmare right now. It needs to be all cleaned up and, you know, loomed up and just made it look more presentable. And it needs a complete wash in this thing as well, so that'll be something we're going to do over the winter time and just tinker with it. And you know, like I said, guys, it's just for fun. It's not, you know, a show winner by any means. It's just classic old car. It's got some panel gap issues that need to be adjusted as well. The hood needs fixing, you know. It's not your brand new run-of-the-mill car, and I'm sure anybody watching this already knows that, you know, back in the 70s the panel gaps were just fair to begin with. Like, these were stock formula fenders that we cut out and we put in the actual Trans Am flares in. So I mean, for what we had to work with, this thing turned out not bad. Just put some new chrome all around here. I have new chrome seals here as well. We put new rubber seals on everything. So all the rubbers are all been replaced on this car, front, trunk, doors, all that good stuff. Yeah, I mean, basically it's just a stock 403. But one thing I've noticed with this car, with the 403, is that it a very, very torquey motor down low. And I mean, I'm a younger guy. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know a lot about classic cars. This is a complete learning curve for me. And I'm sure there's lots of guys out there like me that are wanting to get into this stuff and just, you know, they don't know much about it either. And they're kind of like, you know, what if I do this wrong or what if I do that wrong? But you know what? You have to wrench on these things to learn. I mean, we all make mistakes. That's why pencils have erasers, right, guys? So we can erase it and try again. There's a ton of things that I've done wrong over the years learning on this thing, and, you know, now I'm just trying to correct some of them. Just the little things like belt alignments and stuff like that. And, you know, these things can be very, very finicky. They're not your serpentine belts. They're just your standard V belts, and, you know, they're not as strong as what the Serps do and that kind of stuff. And just little things. I mean, I'm learning along the way. I put a high torque mini starter on this thing, which, if I can tell anybody, it has helped this motor drastically as far as starting power. Yeah, it cranks it effortlessly. So the Power Master high torque mini starter, if you guys are thinking about it or anything, I would highly recommend it. And I also had a lot of guys that said to me, oh, you know, Edelbrocks are garbage. You know, don't do Edelbrock, yada, yada, yada. Quadrajets are the best. Well, you know what? I had 4 Quadrajets, and I honestly had no clue how to tune these things very well. Like, everything I've learned was online with it. So, I mean, I wrenched and I tuned and I wrenched. I rebuilt one. And honestly, I guess I didn't do a good enough job rebuilding it. So I switched to a brand new out of the box Edelbrock, and it's a 600 CFM, you know. And then you have all these guys that are like, oh, you need 750 double pumpers and this from Holly and yada, yada, yada. You don't need that at all. On a stock engine like this, it's only 180 horsepower, you know, and they say your Quadrajets were 750 to 850 CFM, and honestly, truly, they probably weren't. You know, the 600 Edelbrock on this thing has woken this motor up. It's a lot more snappy, and honestly, right out of the box, I put this thing on and it fired up within 2 pumps of the gas. And I mean, you know, to have that quality right out of the box means a lot for people that are learning like myself. There's a few adjustments I had to do on it, you know, just to set the base idle and to do that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, now she fires up first crack, and pump the gas once and it fires. So, but anybody looking to get into this, don't be scared to switch out. And you know, you get all your purists that are like, oh yeah, this has to be right and this has to be flawless, this bolt has to be this way. You don't have to get into that crap at all. And I mean, it's guys like that that'll sometimes ruin it for a lot of people that are really wanting to get into the sport to carry it on. You know, you don't have to be that guy. Just jump in these things, turn a wrench on them, learn, have fun. I mean, a lot of these cars, guys, were being built in the backyards and in the driveways, and you know, you don't need these great big resto mod shops and this, that, and all that other junk. You don't need it. And you know, use what you have available for you, whether it be a Chevy or an Oldsmobile or a Pontiac. Use what you have and get out and enjoy the car. Don't worry about what other people think all the time, and just get out and drive it. Like, it really frustrates me that people are like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, everybody's budget is different. You know, a small block Chev, you can build one, and we're up in Canada here, and I mean, you can build a nice small block Chev, you know, $4,000, $5,000. You can build a nice, reliable small block. And you know, you start building Pontiacs, and Pontiacs are very expensive motors to build if you can find them. They're really hard to find. They're scarce. They're not everywhere like a small block 350 or 454 big block, you know. Same as the Oldsmobile. I had a good buy on the Oldsmobile when I bought it. This car had a 301 Pontiac. It originally started as a 79 Formula, and I just was not passionate about the Formula like the Trans Am. I love the look of the Trans Am. And I mean, I also made a no-no. Everybody hated me for doing it, but I mounted the shaker to the hood because, you know, like anybody else, I had LS dreams to swap this thing, and you know, maybe someday it'll happen. But right now, I'm just going to drive what I have and enjoy it. It's filthy dirty. I know it is, guys. I don't need reminders of that. So I'm going to detail this all winter and get it all cleaned up and washed up. And just, you know, rewire a bunch of stuff that was done here, extend the wires, wrap them properly, just make it look better. And yeah, like I said, the Oldsmobile engines are a good, reliable motor. I've had no issues with this thing that way. You know, don't be scared to jump in and get your hands dirty. You got to learn somehow, and the only way to learn is to do it and make mistakes like I have and try. Yeah, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of this video. And I know I'm not a master mechanic or nothing. I do this on the side as my hobby, and I learn. Like, I mean, I'm just trying my best to make it work and have fun with it. So yeah, don't be scared to get into the project, guys. And again, really hope you enjoyed it. And all I can say is just don't be scared. Get out and try it. You know, we all have to learn somehow. Try not to hit your head on that jack, the hoist post every time. Just one of them things that, you know, drives you nuts. But anyway, get out and enjoy it. Have fun. Learn on these things. That's what they're for. You know, don't let other people guide you and deter you from doing something that you've always dreamed about doing. Just get out and have fun and do it. And I hope you guys stay tuned. There'll be a lot more videos to come. It's just a little slower right now in the winter up here, but during the summertime, we get up to the strip, we go to car shows. I'm going to start filming a bunch more of that stuff for you guys, just to have some off-season content. And I hope you guys enjoy it, and peace out.